Hi there, it's Leanne Hughes. It's the 30th of December 2024. I should technically wait until the first to record this, but I just wanted to share this. It's a 0.5 of an episode. This doesn't even count towards next year's tally of 365 episodes. But I wanted to talk through the shift that happens within an hour when you don't have clarity and then when you get clarity. Now, I often joke that clarity is overrated. What I mean by that is don't let the need for clarity, having certainty, let you stop or pause. You can do things, you can continue things. For example, I've been talking about the show, but I haven't had, I don't know what to call it. I've had a placeholder name in there while I've been setting it up. And the placeholder name is Leanne On Demand. And this came out from a program that I offer. It's one-to-one voice note coaching over WhatsApp, which is really fun. And I just, every time I use the title Leanne On Demand, people they lean in, they are interested and curious. So I thought, maybe that will make sense for this podcast, but I wasn't sure. And so a few days ago, I went onto Instagram and I was like, hey, what should I call this show? Here are some options: Leanne On Demand, Thought Breeder, anything else. And over 80% of people voted for Leanne On Demand, but that still wasn't convincing for me because I had so many people message me other titles. And so I was like, if this is happening, maybe Leanne On Demand isn't the right title for me. So, oh my goodness, I've been talking to so many people. So if you're one of those people, I apologize, but just trying to solve this problem. And a few sort of helpful tips have come through from Petra and Steve Hodgson, who have said, basically, Leanne, whatever you call the show, it's okay, it will work. Yuri said, just flip a coin. At the same time, I know a name is really important, and it's a name that I'm going to be sharing with people when I'm out at events and they're like, what's your podcast called? And it's am I excited to share it, or am I kind of I wish I hadn't called it that? And I've learned a few things from previous podcasts. First Time Facilitator was an instantly attractive name because of the alliteration. It told you what it was on the bottle. It's a podcast for first time facilitators. My other podcast, which I had for about a year, it was called Leanne Hughes Work and Live Large. It was way too complicated to say. It just did not roll off the tongue. And so I want something quite simple for this show. Anyway, I've had a few ideas. I've been into the AI tools, which again are another form of procrastination, I reckon. You could spend forever just brainstorming within a Claude or a Chat GPT and not actually do anything. So I guess if that's you, please just put a timer on yourself or a constraint, 24 hours, stop the AI and actually just get on with things. Megan Bickle in New York, we met through a lot of the running events during New York City Marathon Week. I wasn't doing the marathon, she was. I just happened to be in New York that week, but we went to all the shakeout events together through our mutual connection, Andy Storch. And she's like, I think you should take this poll to LinkedIn now. So this is where I had the clarity. This morning I had to, first of all, finalize what are the 4 sort of shortlisted titles. Let's throw it onto LinkedIn. Let's see what emerges. And so the options were, let's have a look. So where am I today? So as of recording, I have, let's have a look. There's 23 votes. The options were Tropical Courage, Leanne On Demand, Big Tips. I thought that was kind of funny. Kind of wrong, but as in this context, Leanne Hughes has big tips. Okay, I'll pause there. And then the final one was Let's Take This Outside. Okay, fascinating. So the poll results so far, 17% for Tropical Courage, 26% for Leanne On Demand, nothing for Big Tips. People don't obviously get the joke, and maybe it's just wrong. And 57% for Let's Take This Outside. So what that's done is a couple of things. One, Leanne On Demand, 25%. I'm thinking I go with that. And I'll tell you why I'm deciding on Leanne On Demand today, and that I'm going to stick with it. A, it's easy to say, but B is another reason, which I'll share in a second. The benefit of doing this poll, actually something that I wasn't even anticipating, was, how I've been procrastinating around, what is my next book idea? I am over the moon to see over 50% of people have voted for Let's Take This Outside. And I reckon that's the potential book. It's on the front page of my website. What I talk about is let's take this outside your comfort zone. Let's take it outside the boardroom. Take it outside the box. And so I think there's definitely chapters and themes within that I can explore, but that it's not like I did this poll thinking, I want to get my next book idea. I honestly genuinely wanted to know what the heck should I call this podcast. So the fact that I've got even a few votes for Leanne On Demand is validating. This is what has tipped it over the line. It's a message that my friend Julian Mather sent to me. Julian is tremendous. He has a keynote all around changeability. And he said, hey, Leanne, read your new podcast name. You should listen to this. And it was an episode from the Prof G podcast with Scott Galloway. It's called No mercy, no malice, people are the new brands. And it's an 18-minute listen. So I tuned in and I'm like, oh, he's kind of validating what I was thinking already. It's all about the personal brand these days. People are connected to people, not brands. And I think that while I could have a like sub brand, like Let's Take This Outside or Tropical Courage or the Hesitation Station, all those things that I say, I want them to be associated with me. The one thing that I can truly stand on with this podcast is actually, I mean, I've got ideas on where it's going to go, but I don't know what topics that will be. And if I just go under my name, that gives me the autonomy and flexibility and agency to take it outside, to take it outside those topics as well. And so I'm landing on, and it's committed, even though there's 23 hours left of this poll, I'm going to commit to Leanne on Demand. And also, I think I've discovered the book title for next year. For this year. Oh, well, in 2 days. I'm getting confused now. The book title, Let's Take This Outside. So just sharing some behind the scenes of like what it takes to think of a name. Now, the hesitation I had, I mean, I'm always on the hesitation station. I just move on from it pretty quickly, is thinking, well, those people who don't know me, like no one's going to be searching for Leanne on Demand in their podcast player. No, but they might be searching for specific episodes, which might lead them down and then bring them into the world of Leanne, whatever that looks like. So the goal really of this podcast, again, which I'll share in the new year, is around just sharing lots of ideas, getting them out of my own head, inspiring you, lifting you up, maybe validating what's going on for you, because you might see my confusion or like the messy middle. You won't see an end state as I podcast through the year. But yeah, that just leads into the Leanne Hughes world. So Leanne on Demand, that's it. I might call it Leanne on Demand Daily. We'll see. The good thing about podcast titles is you can just change them in the back end and then it automatically update. So I think Leanne on Demand Daily might be nice. See, that's how it works. You just get it outside your head, start talking. Well, this is how it works for me, sharing ideas, and it's incredible to see what emerges, even in a conversation with yourself. So that's the 0.5 episode. That's the origin story of how this name came to be. And thank you so much for listening and being part of it. And for those of you that shared ideas, voted, I'm so appreciative of you. Thank you so much for helping out with this. Awesome. All right. We'll see you in the new year.